All right, so today we're going to talk about comparing decimals, and we're going to use area models as well as number lines to compare decimals today. So if I look at 1A, it says shade the area model below, decomposing tenths as needed to represent the pairs of decimal numbers. Fill in the blank with less than, greater than, or equal to compare the decimal numbers. So I'm comparing 0 and 23 hundredths to 0 and 4 tenths. So for 23 hundredths, I see that I have to shade in 2 tenths, and I need to shade in 3 hundredths. So I have to split this next bar into hundredths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, and I need 3 of those. So there's my 23 hundredths. For my 0 and 4 tenths, I have 4 tenths. So I'm going to shade in 4 tenths. There's my 4 tenths. This is my 0 and 4 tenths. Here's my 0 and 23 hundredths. So looking at my two pictures, I can see that 0 and 4 tenths has more shaded. So 0 and 23 hundredths is less than 0 and 4 tenths. All right, so you guys will finish those up in just a minute. We're going to go down and look at 2A now. So 2 tells me to locate and label the points for each of the decimal numbers on the number line. Fill in the blank with less than, greater than, or equal to compare the decimal numbers. So here my numbers are greater than 1. I have some numbers that are larger than 1. So my number line starts at 10 because my whole number is 10, and it goes up to 10 and 3 tenths. So this is my easy one. I see right off the bat 10 and 3 tenths is already on my number line. So I'm just going to put that right there. That's my 10 and 3 tenths. 10 and 3 hundredths now, that's not on my number line. I don't have that on my number line. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to label my number line with my hundredths. So this is 10 wholes. So this is 10 and 10 hundredths, 10 and 20 hundredths, 10 and 30 hundredths, 10 and 40 hundredths. Oh, hold up. I'm wrong. Oops. Ignore all that. I'm sorry. So this is 10 and 1/10, or 10 and 10 hundredths. This is 10 and 20 hundredths, and this is 10 and 30 hundredths. Sorry about that. I looked at my number line incorrectly. So each of these is actually my hundredths. So this is 10 and 1 hundredth, 10 and 2 hundredths, 10 and 3 hundredths, 10 and 4 hundredths, 10 and 5 hundredths, 10 and 6 hundredths, 10 and 7 hundredths, 10 and 8 hundredths, 10 and 9 hundredths, 10 and 10 hundredths. Now my numbers work out. Then it would be 10 and 11 hundredths, 10 and 12 hundredths, 10 and 13 hundredths, 10 and 14 hundredths, and so on. So I can see now my 10 and 3 hundredths is now on my number line. My 10 and 3 hundredths is right here. So I can see that 10 and 3 tenths comes much farther down my number line than 10 and 3 hundredths. So 10 and 3 hundredths is less than 10 and 3 tenths. So both of these number lines are already split into hundredths. My big lines are tenths, so each of these little lines is hundredths. So don't make the mistake I made up here. Make sure you're labeling them hundredths and not tenths. All right, you can go ahead and finish up 1 and 2 on your own.